What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to break down what on earth is going on with NIO and what my price prediction is for Monday. I'm going to talk about what's going on with the market, what the technicals are showing, and what I think NIO is going to do. And before I break any of this down and get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the WeBull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for WeBull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. Now, you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares in this limited time offer that ends in just 4 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, this thing was down about 4.08% for the day on, what was that, about like, Friday. But what's going to happen for the future, right? And I actually want to talk about both the bullish and the bearish possibilities, so you always know what you should be looking out for. And I'm also going to talk about what is also going on with the share price and my price prediction. Now, before we talk about that, let's look at the SPY real quick. You're going to notice some very interesting things. So if you look at the SPY over the last couple of days, or should I say like the last 2 weeks, we found our bottom at 380. That's our temporary bottom. And since then, we've been respecting this upward trend with so many green days. Now, what happened essentially was, excuse me, the SPY ended up kind of consolidating on Friday. It kind of slowed down a bit, and now we're in a very, very key critical level. So the question is, are we going to just keep dropping? Are we going to push up? And right now, if you look at this from a more macro perspective, what you'll notice is the fact that right now we're not necessarily in bear market or like super, super bearish, the really bearish phase just yet, okay? Because if you go back a couple of days, the SPY's low is at 406, 407, right over here. This was back around the 2nd of June. Where's the new bottom? We pushed up really hard. We were set for some consolidation, maybe a slight pullback, completely normal. Okay. And our new support was that 409 range. The SPY held up. I mean, I wouldn't say it held up perfectly, but it made higher lows. On top of that, we have this big gap right here that may actually push the SPY up to that 416 range relatively soon. So right now, we're at that key zone. Is downside possible? Yes. Upside's also very possible. I would say I'm 60% in favor of upside and 40% in favor of downside. So I'm a little bit more leaning towards some relief for Monday, especially if you look at some technical indicators. You'll notice that the SPY is kind of oversold. If I pull up the 2-hour chart, look at this right here. You can see the SPY kind of, I mean, by oversold, I mean it drops compared to where it was from before. You could see just like that, we got this big drop. I think on the daily, it looks a little different. Right here, the RSI went from being in the, what is that? It went from being like in the 50s. Now it's all the way down right over here, a little bit lower. So RSI kind of pulled back a bit. MACD is still respecting this upward trend. We're not necessarily in a case where I could say we're just going to start crashing. We're not just there yet. I can't confirm that yet. And right now, upside seems a little bit more probable. Now, looking at, let me see the NASDAQ. Where's the NASDAQ? A little bit of a different story, very similar though. Nice gap. We held up at that 11,966 level. And what's interesting is the NASDAQ has this gap down here, all the way down at 11,000. What is that? 11,700. 11,800, 11,700, around there. So, like I said before, we're not looking like we're going to gap down just yet. We're still making those higher lows. We have this nice gap up here. So it looks a little bit more bullish than bearish, or at least I'm a little bit more in favor of the market kind of pushing a little bit up on Monday than it just dropping. NIO is a little bit up in the after hours, as you could see. And looking at the way it's moving, we made that higher low again. So I'm a little bit more in favor of NIO pushing up on Monday than dropping, but there is something I want to let you guys know that's important. So I apologize for all the lines. This is just the key support and resistance levels. I could try to make them thinner in my next video, but let's just look at this real quick. Look at NIO over the last few days. We push down, we touch the trend line, push up. We got like 2 touches almost from the trend line, push down, another push up. And to me, it's looking like we push down, Like, look at this move right here. Look at NIO. It pushed up to about 16.7, got kind of cooled off a little bit down to 15.6, then it pushed all the way up to about 17.76. Then it dropped. What happened to NIO recently? We got like a push up here. We're consolidating, and it looks like it's going to push up one last time before it kind of drops, kind of cools off a little bit. And that's essentially what I think is most likely going to happen. Now, here's the thing about it though. There is something else I need to talk about. So let me delete this real quick to make the chart look a little better. Here's the thing about NIO. I'm more in favor of a little bit of upside, but you have to look at these key zones, okay? If NIO hypothetically dropped below 1780, then the key zone is that 1740 level. If that doesn't hold us, 17 flat is going to be our key support. But if we start dropping like below like 1740, 17 flat, we have this gap down to about 16.56. So we might drop to 16.5. However, I'm not predicting this. I'm saying it's a possibility you should be prepared for. This is the more bearish possibility, but I find it less likely than the more bullish possibility. The more bullish possibility would push NIO all the way up to about that 18.93 level, and we'd push above $19 to the next key level of resistance, which should be around 19.5 up here. So what do I think is going to happen? Okay. I think the market's kind of oversold. We might actually get a slight push to the upside for Monday. Now, bullish and bearish possibilities are both possible. I mentioned that, okay? So predictions may not be perfect, but I just want to show you what I think would play out for Monday. So NIO is kind of like right here. Let's make this kind of bigger. There we go. All right. What could happen is NIO might drop a little bit into opening, and we might actually get a nice bounce off that 17.01 range, or 17.8 range, sorry about that. And then we might actually push up after with the overall market. We might start this slow trend to the upside. And I wouldn't be surprised if NIO actually doesn't just fill its gap, but it pushes to the $19 level like this. We get a nice $19 level move, and then we kind of get rejected after that. Push up, maybe drop a little bit, and we close in the high $18 level just like that. So I mentioned to you, okay, if we drop below 17.4, we're most likely going to fill the gap down to 16.5. I find that a little bit less likely. I think we're set to keep going because NIO is holding up pretty darn well compared to before. And I just think that this is more likely to happen. NIO might get a nice push to the 19 range. We might actually close in the green. So that's essentially what I'm predicting. We have this nice gap up here, which I think NIO is going to fill. And my prediction is a little bit more in favor of the bulls than the bears. So that's essentially what I'm predicting. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. NIO does look like it's set for another pretty good move. Maybe we could touch 20 today, but if that's the case, we are set for somewhat of a rejection a little later. We do have to cool off our RSI soon. Once that comes, we could start to push up a little bit later again. So anyways, that's essentially what I'm predicting. I'm a little bit more in favor of bulls than bears. Like I said, either possibility is possible, but this is just what I'm predicting. With that out of the way, it's just a short-term prediction. The long term is very bright regardless. And that's essentially what I'm seeing. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon and peace out.